Good afternoon, welcome back. My name is Jeff Davis. I'm a real estate administrator and a designated broker for American Realty Academy here in Arizona. One of the most challenging things that we hear students complaining about is they just can't seem to grasp the government rectangular surveys in land descriptions. Now, this is almost all 50 states are going to have some semblance of this on their exams. So if I can break it down for you really quick and really simply, let me try. You should recognize this by now. This is the government rectangular survey. Back in the day, the government would send out surveyors and they had to know where to put stakes when they were giving away land. If you've never heard, 40 acres was up for sale. It was given away for free a lot of times, but you had to find it. You had to identify it. This is what we would do. The government would tell you to go out and start here. You have to find somewhere to start in order to find out where you're going. The point of beginning in this case is the intersection between the baseline and the prime meridian. All the states have one. Ours here in Arizona is called Baseline Road and the Gila Salt River Maricopa Prime Meridian. What we're going to do, we've broken them up into tiers. Tiers, don't forget, are like wedding cakes. Tiers go either north and south, and each tier is separated by a total of 6 miles. Ranges go east or west, and again, they're separated by a total of 6 miles. The distance in between is called a tier. The distance in between here is called a range. So if we have to find a specific parcel of land, that's what we're going to do. In this instance, we're trying to find where tier 2 south, range 3 west. Very simple. Starting off with the tiers. We drop down 6 miles, we drop down another 6 miles. We are now at our second tier, south of our baseline. Now we have to find the range. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. 3 ranges to the west of your prime meridian. That is the township of which we are trying to find. Next thing that trips people up is there are a total of 36 sections in any individual township. The government said we're always going to place section number 1 in the top right-hand corner, and you will remember this. It is 6 miles by 6 miles. So guess what? Every section is 1 mile by 1 mile. So starting in the top right-hand corner, we have section number 1. Going to the west, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I wholeheartedly recommend and suggest when you sit down and take your exams, you immediately write this down and it'll avoid a lot of confusion for when you're getting tired or fatigued on the exams. First, 6th, remember the snake. The township lines always go west, they drop down south. Then they go back east, drop down south. West, south, east, south, west, and we end up down here at the bottom row. Section 30, all the way to 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, and then of course we end up at the bottom corner, section 36. Let's say one step further. The state's exams are going to ask you more than likely, how many acres does a person own? And they're going to give you this government rectangular survey description. And it's our job to find out how many acres that person has. They have to give us what township, what range, what section, then they have to give us the actual description. In this case, we chose section 30. So we found section 30, and the description says, the south 1/2 of the east 1/2 of the southern half of section 30, how many acres do we have? There's 2 ways of doing this. If you don't like math, if you're scared of math, I encourage you, draw it out. You've got plenty of time on the exams. They give you scratch paper. Go ahead and draw it out. We did. Here's section 30. Great. The southern half. Remember, we always have to walk backwards when we're doing these government rectangular surveys. Think of Arabic. Think of a different language where they read right to left. That's what we're going to do here. The southern half. I drew my section 30, and I also labeled it. I know that my section is 1 mile by 1 mile, and I also know that there's 640 total acres. Southern half, I now know I have 320 acres. But that's not what they were asking us for, because this person owned the eastern half of the southern half, which is here. So don't forget, you gotta cut that in half. Eastern half, western half of the southern half. Okay, we've identified that. But that's not all. They've now said he owns the southern half. That's simple. There it is. So by drawing it out, 640 acres is one full section. I cut that in half to come up with 320. I cut that in half, east to west. I came up with a total of 160. 320 divided by 2 is 160. Then we had to find out the southern half of that. So 160 divided by 2, the southern half is 80 total acres. If you're more comfortable writing it out, I encourage you to do it. If you want to be faster, if you want to know both ways of doing it, or you're just more comfortable with math, simple. Fractions. We're going to take the bottom number of each one of these, and we're just going to rewrite it simply enough. 2 of the always means multiply. 2 of the 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Fantastic. But beware, I will personally guarantee you that one of the A, B, C, D choices on your exam will be 8. It is not 8. This is the shortcut method, so please don't forget, we have to divide by the amount of total acres in that section. So 8 divided by 640 gives you 80 acres. 80 acres and 80 acres, whichever way you feel more comfortable with, I encourage you to do it that way. Come back and see us again soon. American Realty Academy says thank you.